So, welcome back to Justin Talks Villa, and this is a little bit different from me tonight. I'm not really going to be jumping on doing many of these things because my channel is essentially an interview channel, but it's also about talking about the Villa, hence the title, Justin Talks Villa. So, I will jump on when I feel like there is an interesting subject to talk about, and that is exactly what's happened this evening. Aston Villa have announced an exciting off-field update. And I think it's worth talking about. I really do. It is Chris Heck, who is a Marmite figure at Aston Villa Football Club. Lots of people don't like him, but lots of people do. And I think it's very important to have a balanced opinion on what is happening off the pitch as much as it is on the pitch. So my plan is to watch through the video, stopping it at different points, discussing it with my opinion, and then I'm going to put it out and then hopefully get a reaction, not a negative one. I don't want no negativity. We'll discuss the elephant in the room at the end of the video, the ticketing prices, which is going to be thrown everywhere, obviously, after this video has landed. Excuse me. And also the subject of the North Stand, which I've already seen on social media. Everybody is commenting on. So let's put the video in and start it up, and we'll see how we go.
Two years ago, we outlined a business model and plan that would enable us to become one of the elite clubs in the Premier League. We're achieving these goals at record pace. As a matter of fact, we think that we are on pace to achieve all these goals by the end of next year, in 1 year short of expectations. This is a proud time to be a villain.
So we'll start with that one. And basically, Chris is saying that 2 years into the plan to revolutionise everything at Aston Villa off the pitch is going to plan. The work that they've done off the pitch has been pretty much monumental. The improvements in some of the stands, the area for the fans, the little fan zone that has been built. Obviously, the whole of the corporate area have been revitalised last summer. Every single one of those have added extra corporate areas. I know that's not for us, the general fans, but it's very important. It's very important in the continued desire to try and push as close as we can to increasing revenue as quickly as we possibly can, to the point where we become a self-sustaining club, which I'm not convinced in the modern age any club competing at the top level of English football and in Europe can ever be self-sustaining year in, year out, especially given the standing start that we had going into this era under the new ownership. We were so far behind everybody else, all the established elite clubs, the Manchester Uniteds, the Tottenhams with a new stadium, the Chelseas with their continued year-on-year out input of money, and the Man Cities, the Arsenals. We have had to try and catch up very, very quickly, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Done something on the pitch that is unprecedented. And now off the pitch, we are catching up to enter into the golden age of Aston Villa football. We are here at the Bullring. Super exciting time. As you can see, the construction is well underway. We plan on unveiling on May 22nd and opening the doors of this unique collaboration between Aston Villa and, of course, Adidas.
I think it's important to stop at this point and have a chat about the Bullring store. I mean, we had 2 shops in the Bullring in my lifetime. A very small one, I think it was in the Pavilions, a very, very long time ago, probably about 40 odd years ago, which was more of a ticket office and sold a few bits and bobs. And then we saw the other club shop, which was opposite, I think it was JD Sports, going towards the cinema. So, and that was okay, but it wasn't very big. But this is a different ball game altogether. We are inside the Bullring, one of the most iconic shopping centres in the country, and it's a collaboration not just with Aston Villa but with Adidas as well. So I presume we're going to see Adidas in their lines as well as Aston Villa lines side by side. So it's a huge coup for Villa to get this shop into the Bullring in a really big store. It's the old JD Sports store, which is towards the bottom end of the bottom side of the ramp in the Bullring. I mean, another huge call for the club to do this and to try and increase revenue streams as well. I mean, the amount of footfall, I work in retail, and footfall at the Bullring is absolutely incredible. Christmas time, it is just heaving. So, to have that in the Bullring visually for everybody to see the amount of people that come is a real big plus for Aston Villa going forward.
And it is going to not only match the magnitude of what we have at Villa Park, but will be unique in its own way. Here we are at the warehouse. This is under construction. You will see the warehouse being built over the next 9 months. And what
Now, this is the one that I am so excited. I'm so excited to see this. The stills and the images that we're going to see in a minute, and we've seen up to now, to show what this is going to look like afterwards. It's just a game changer for me on a match day. I mean, the small fan area that we've got now that's been created where the coach comes in is lovely. I've been in there a few times. It's not very big, but obviously it's not a permanent structure, so they've tried to do the best they can with the area they've got. But this, as we'll see in a minute, when it's finished, 4,000 people in there on a match day, that is an incredible space. And I think Chris Heck says this in a minute, so I'll let him run on for a little bit longer.
this warehouse actually is doing is providing a space, year-round entertainment, music, sports, shows, community events. All of this will take place here at the warehouse, a massive space right at Villa Park. It is something that'll happen.
I'll just stop that there again. I think what's important is that what we are creating at Aston Villa and at the ground, at the sides of the ground, is not just a match day experience. It is a 12-month of the year place to go and experience concerts, and different kind of events as well, because we cannot afford to leave Villa Park dormant in the summer and not having it generate revenue. We've seen it over the last couple of summers with concerts at Villa Park, which now are a regular occurrence again. You know, back in my day when I was younger, we saw the odd concert at Villa Park, but now we're seeing 2 or 3 concerts every single summer. So that's huge. And then to add this venue in as well, which is going to be huge, 4,000 people, on top of using the stadium for events, it's going to be huge, And on a match day, we're going to have probably, I think it's the biggest beer hall in the country. So it's going to be a brilliant place to meet before, and importantly, retention of people after games as well. If you've got a 3:00 kickoff on a Saturday afternoon, and we win, everybody wants to mingle around, everybody's happy. And, if you can retain 2, 3, 4,000 people into that beer hall after the game with the 5:30 kickoff on the telly screens as well, you're retaining people, and your income revenue streams go up again. And this is all so important to the club. And I know nobody wants to talk about the revenue. Nobody wants to talk about the cost of things. Nobody needs to tell me how expensive going to football is. It is a really expensive thing to do now. And unfortunately, where we are now, where we are competing at now, we are at the highest end of that.
Up to 4,000 people on a particular event. And during game days, this is going to be the largest beer hall in the United Kingdom. It's also important to note that the roof that we have behind us right now will be twice the height as you currently see. This massive space will be a host of a must-play venue throughout the country. As you can see in the backdrop, our new LED in front of the Superstore is up.
I mean, the club shop has been improved no end. We've seen what that looks like and how good that has been. And the extension of that now through the bottom side of what used to be the ticket office. I was there the other day. It looks incredible, and now these screens added onto top, top of the range, cutting edge technology now in there as well. Again, another huge improvement on what we have seen over the last 10 years.
Running. It's an exciting time for our retail, not only at the Bullring, but here at Villa Park, in our 10,000 square foot store that has broken all records and imagination for what we are doing with product, not only on the players and kits, but throughout all of our fan base. There will be a new entrance into the Superstore that'll be facing the warehouse, open in the next few weeks. This will also be the start of tours where you can pick up a coffee, walk through the interactive space, and move into the store before you go into the full stadium tour. The North Stand project is something.
So yeah, the club shop's going to be incredible. I would have liked to have seen a mention at that point of some kind of museum for Aston Villa. I was hoping that was going to be in that building there. That might still be the case, but we haven't seen it on this video. But that's something I definitely want to see as somebody that loves memorabilia and talking about the old days at Aston Villa. We have got such a prestigious history at Aston Villa. And for me, it is vitally important that we have somewhere where people can go and soak in our history and what we've achieved at Aston Villa Football Club. So that's something I would like to see added. Now we're going on to the North Stand, which is another highly contentious part of Aston Villa going forward. You know, we saw the plans for the demolishment of the North Stand and it being rebuilt. That has now been put on hold, and the club are adamant. The reasoning behind that is because of the transport links in and out of Villa Park that need massively upgrading to help with the flow of people that extra supporters with a bigger stadium would bring in. I don't know. You've got to get into the nitty gritty of this. You know, talking to the council and the government on how we can try and cross this bridge. But I sort of see the point of not diving in and increasing the stadium when you can't get the people in and out better. Could it be done anyway? Maybe, but there has to be a reason behind it, and it is such a huge job to knock a stand down and to rebuild it. It's not going to happen overnight. It would be a season or a season and a half at least without one side of the ground. And I think we all need to agree, and I definitely think that it was the right decision not to knock the North Stand down at the start of this season, because we have really enjoyed the stadium, especially on Champions League nights. So I think that was the right decision. And I think what they're trying to do is improve the match day experience in the stands, you know, on the concourses, which has been at times really bad. You know, I go every game. I'm in the Trinity. Generally speaking, it's pretty good in the Trinity Row, but I know the Holton had problems in the toilets first game of the season, but that was quickly sorted. And it seems that they are now working their way around the ground, trying to improve the amenities, toilets, the speed of service, the quality of service, the quality of food in every single aspect of the stadium. Obviously, the corporate area was sorted last year. Yes, you can say, okay, they dealt with where the money was first, but ultimately that's where the money is, isn't it? You know, you've got to bring the revenue in, and those areas needed doing, but they haven't stopped looking at the areas where us, the normal fans, sit. And the North Stand, you know, I used to be a season ticket in the holder in the North Stand, and the concourses are too small. You know, it's very tight. The toilets are very dated. So as we'll see if we let the video run on, the plans to improve that as well.
That we're working on right now for today, but also for the future. We used to have our former offices here. We moved them out to create room for more restroom facilities and also a new kitchen space that never existed before. We've been listening to the concerns of the fans and what their needs are in the North Stand.
I think that's a very important point he makes there. They are listening to the concerns of the fans. And yes, once again, you know, there's a lot of mud thrown at Chris Heck about things, the decisions that he's had to make and the club have had to make. Let's not forget the owners have a huge say in all these decisions as well. You know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, he doesn't have carte blanche to just decide whatever he wants to do happens. I'm pretty sure the owners have a huge impact and a huge say on what's going on at the club as well. So I know that they listen to the fans. It might not always be the right decision for you personally, but they have to try and take into account the whole picture. It's not always a popular decision, but it has to be a decision that they have made in good faith that's going to benefit the majority of people in the long term. And I think that's the way you have to look at it. You know, that's why I try and look at it. But the improvements of the toilets, the facilities, the speed of service that we get at Aston Villa is very important, and the quality of product that we get at Aston Villa. None of us can complain about the quality of product on the pitch. I think at times we have had a moan about the quality off the pitch, and you know, the food outlets and bits and bobs. But for me, as long as it's continually looked at and the attempt is there to continually improve our experience, then that's okay by me. I am totally aware and understand the scale of the project that is currently going on at Aston Villa off the pitch to try and keep up with everybody else in what is a very old stadium and a stadium that's been neglected for a very long time before Nassef Sawiris and Wes Edens came in. And regardless of who they chose to do this job that Chris Heck is now doing, they would have had to make some very difficult decisions, and that's what they have to do. That's why they're in that job. And I think that what we've seen off the pitch, we have seen an improvement. You can't deny that. The things that are happening off the pitch, the shirts, Adidas deals, sponsorship deals, they're all improving us bit by bit. We're not there yet, but we're on a journey.
This has been new to Villa Park this year, and we've had a wonderful success rate with kids being up close and personal with our players as they come off the team bus. This has become a tradition, and it also will extend and be even a greater presence.
I think what the club tried to do last year when we greeted the team for European games and they saw the excitement and what it brought to not only the fans having that connection with the players when they arrive, but also what it did for the players, that morale boosting confidence, walking through, thousands of Villa fans giving it, shouting at them, screaming, singing their names, it's huge. And I think they quickly realised that had to be improved. And I think what they've done with the coach arrival area has been brilliant. I really do. I think it's definitely added to the matchday experience. You walk around there when the coach arrives and you see hundreds, if not thousands of kids absolutely thrilled and excited that they're seeing their heroes arrive and getting off the coach and shouting their names. So that's another good improvement. Another good improvement off the pitch for me.
We put up the statue that's coming in the next few weeks. That will be accompanied by the legacy wall, where our fans get to put their messaging and their memories up for everyone to see throughout the year.
Again, the statue, it looks like it's going to be a lion, and it's just another incredible addition to the stadium, another sign of our 150-year anniversary. Looking forward to seeing that unveiled. The legacy wall's a nice touch as well. That's a pretty rubbish area along that wall, isn't it? So to turn it into something where people can go and add their names of their loved ones, maybe that they've lost, or to celebrate a special occasion. Yes, obviously it's increasing revenue and it's a money stream for the club, but we're getting something, in my opinion, in return for that. I lost my father-in-law last year and we're getting one for him with his name on it, so I'll always be able to go there and see his name on there. And we saw the pavers in the Trinity Road area, but unfortunately over time a lot of them have worn away. So to have it on a wall where you can walk up and nobody walks all over it and it wears away, I think is another good option. I think it's going to be a really nice addition to that area, and we'll add once again to that to the walking round, and people can walk around and read the names of all the other fans.
Well, it's a project that never ends, and that's part of the exciting component of transforming Villa Park. We not only will have 100% new seats for the entire facility, but
Again, another really good addition for me. New seats in every single stand. We saw that in the Holt End and the North Stand last year. My seat in the Trinity hasn't been upgraded for a long time, so we're going to see improved seating in all the other areas of the ground.
You're also going to have expanded bathrooms in the Holt End, both for men and women's.
Toilets. Start of the season, though, were a huge topic, weren't they? So, yes, again, the club's listened. It's taken a while to get there, but these things don't happen overnight. They are dealing with, I'm no expert on toilets and how you get waters in and out of these areas, but I'd imagine that they've got to be improved, they've got to be upgraded. The sheer amount of fluid and water that comes in and out of that area on a match day, it has to be upgraded. Again, another area that hasn't been upgraded for a very, very long time. So to have much better quality places for ladies and men and children to go to use the bathrooms will be a much, hopefully, welcomed addition to the club.
In the kiosk will be more functional and in larger spaces at the Holt End in particular, but throughout the entire building. We are in a renaissance period at Villa Park. This is something that goes well beyond the beautification and branding of Aston Villa throughout the park. This is a place that is truly one of the iconic buildings throughout the United Kingdom. We're very proud of what our improvements have been and what they're going to be.
He's not wrong. It's an iconic stadium in an iconic city. We are all incredibly proud to be Aston Villa fans. We are all incredibly excited about what has happened over the last 2 years. At times, I've been saddened by the abuse that's been handed out to Chris Heck and to other people for basically trying to do their job. As I say, ticketing prices, that was the big one, wasn't it? Yeah, they were too expensive. I said that at the start, but I sort of understand where the club was trying to come from. You know, they've got a limited amount of games to try and maximise profit in and try and get the money up. Fans have seen that as extorting money at the fans in an area where you've got no choice other than to go to the games because it was something we hadn't experienced for 40 years. I wish the ticketing prices were cheaper. I really do. I wish they were half, a quarter of what they are, but that's just not reality in the modern game. When you've got players, you know, Boubacar Kamara's contract's coming up soon. I'd imagine he's going to be, and the rumours are he's going to be the most well-paid player at the club. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. You know, when you're paying that kind of wages out, and we've seen how much our wage to profit is, to turnover is, and it's 90% mark. So it's a really difficult job that they've got to try and somehow balance the books, give us a match day experience, whilst putting a team on the pitch that can compete at the highest level, which we've done this season. You know, just look at the squad tomorrow when we go to the game, Nottingham Forest. Look at that squad of players that we have assembled. Look round at the stadium that we sit in. It's not perfect. It hasn't been perfect. I'm sure if they were honest, the mistakes have been made at times. But as long as they're put right and they are trying to push on and give us the best experience possible going forward, because they're not going to be the owners forever. Chris Heck's not going to be in his job forever. There'll be somebody else trying after. And who knows, in 10 years' time, we might be saying, I wish we could go back to 2024 and 2025 because those were golden days. And I think we've got to appreciate what we've got currently and hope that things just keep getting better for us on and off the pitch. I'm not coming on here to cause any issues, to start any arguments or nothing. I've just tried to give an honest opinion on what's going on at the club. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little video of me going through what has been a really exciting video that the club have put out. And please keep subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I've got a really exciting interview with Brian Little next week. For me, it was an absolute pleasure to record, to be honest. And some of the things we discussed were brilliant. He's got, try and find here what we've talked about. We had him coming to Aston Villa as a 15-year-old. That was a really interesting story. Signing with his brother Alan, winning the FA Youth Cup, his debut at 17. How Ron Saunders influenced his playing career and his management career, winning 2 League Cups in 75 and 77. Then he went to work in the club shop after he got injured, and how having a chance conversation in the car park led to the start of his coaching career. Very, very interesting story. Leaving Leicester, coming to Villa, players he signed, Southgate, turning him into a centre-half for a midfielder, Savo in the bandana, Collingwood signing. Really enjoyed doing it. I'm very grateful for everyone that's subscribed to the channel so far. As I say, I won't be doing many of these videos, but I really wanted to jump on tonight and have a bit of a chat about this, what's come up this evening. We are very lucky, I think, to have what we've got at Villa. on the pitch and off the pitch currently. And I hope people appreciate what they are trying to do. As I say, it's not perfect, but I think it's going in the right direction. So I'm going to shut up there and go. So thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and up the Villa.